chill.
Hello, my country people.
She's the nice one, always trying to keep him out of trouble.
Oh no, don't say that.
These two are on a mission to be the voice of the people. Lagos, are you ready? The Big Bird has landed.
This na Seun and Nicola.
Join us every Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 noon on our brand new show.
If I open this my mouth, all tables scatter.
Father, help us all.
Talk to Seun Kuti and Iffy on the people's perspective every Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 noon on Lagos Talks 91.3.
Oh gosh, stretch. Fantastic Friday. Of course, this is the midday show. My name is Ifunanya. Thank you so much for joining me. I know you are looking forward to one of your favorite shows on radio. I'm talking about The People's Perspective, that show where we get to dissect topical issues from your perspective. And in the studio with me, my co-host, Seun Kuti. Hi.
Hello everybody, how are you? Ify, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Me as well as show for my life, okay?
Sorry?
I want to see whether I need to block your face for my live.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think you can see me. Hi, everyone on Seun Kuti's live. Thanks for joining us once again.
Enjoy.
Anyways, guys, it is another day for another amazing show, really, where we get to dissect these different top stories for the week. So a few stories I'm going to be sharing with you, talking about the federal government planning on lifting 20 million Nigerians out of poverty. Let's see how possible that is. We're also going to be talking about the 88 cars auctioned here in Lagos State. Now, these cars were seized by those who are breaking the law, driving one way in Lagos. We're going to be touching on that. And Seun's favorite topic for today, why the pigeons did not fly.
AKA the pigeon strike. The pigeon strike.
So we're going to touch on that. Anyways, guys, let's get into the show for today. You might have heard this, that the federal government recently announced their plan to lift 20 million Nigerians out of poverty in the next 2 years. According to the vice president, of course, he stated this on Tuesday in Abuja whilst flagging off virtually the cash transfer scheme that is to be facilitated through a wholly technology-based approach called the Rapid Response Register. I'll repeat it, the Rapid Response Register, which is RRR. Now, RRR is the means by which the urban, poor, and vulnerable population can be speedily identified using geographic satellite technology, of course, and other related means for the purposes of delivering cash to households affected by the fallout of the COVID-19 pandemic in the country. Now, according to the vice president, and I quote, the groundbreaking success of the RRR now emboldens us
our life don't
to
better.
achieve
Everybody
our
start
aspiration
dancing.
of a social security program for a minimum of 20 million Nigerians in the next 2 years. Now, this will be the largest of its kind in the continent.
If everybody,
this aspiration, so we have to give them all the information before we dissect it.
I'm not dissecting. I say our life don't better. Let's start dancing. I don't know why I still here. We are not on the streets.
Okay. Before we start rejoicing, this aspiration is, at least from the perspective of this tested approach, now well within our reach. The only constraint, according to the vice president, of course, is the funding, which we must look for, because this country deserves a social security scheme that will not merely alleviate poverty, but also create wealth for the millions of those who are waiting for this opportunity.
So are you saying?
I believe on this note, we can begin to dissect this.
Wait. Are you saying the VP, after making me sweat like this from doing my Holy Ghost dance, the money is not yet there?
Well, for the first installment, because they didn't really specify.
You mean this is audio?
He didn't really specify if it's not there or we need more for the rest of the 20 million people. And maybe they have small, when you're borrowing, at least they would ask you, okay, which one do you have? Let me complete it. So maybe they have a little bit for a few million people. maybe not the 20 million, and it's in the next 2 years, remember. So I'm sure they have a bit to start
Another
with.
audio palliative.
Fantastic.
Oh no.
So Seun, what are your thoughts about this? This is yet another poverty alleviation scheme and program by the federal government, and the vice president is saying this as a message of hope to the people, saying it seems like it's more attainable within the next 2 years.
But next 2 years during election time, I beg, which kind scam be this one? This is campaign. This campaign has started.
I like that campaign.
His campaign don't start already.
Interesting.
Because first of all, 5,000 naira is not poverty alleviation. Less is poverty supporting.
It's poverty reinforcement.
Poverty reinforcement.
Don't actually tell me.
I'm telling you
That's
the truth.
hilarious.
Well, if you can't even shout, this one is not. How can you say you are giving somebody 5,000 and you are alleviating poverty? You know how they buy people Indomie to go and sell, sewing machine, Okada. I mean, these are things that reinforce poverty to make you comfortable in poverty.
Exactly.
You know, it's only real social investment in the education of the people. As we're having COVID now, this VP needs to stop the tokenism. This tokenism, and it will be a shame on our own historical struggles for our humanity to accept such tokenism as a solution from the vice president of the most populous black nation in the world. So, I mean, we are over a year into COVID, ravaging us, the whole world. I'm sure if we look at it very well, maybe Nigeria is the only country that has not built one new hospital in the midst of all this. Yeah, at least country with some money. Let's forget the really poor countries that cannot help themselves at all. But at least in Nigeria, countries like Nigeria, our mates, I'm sure they built at least one, one research center, new one, brand new, just to work on this. Where's our own? Only isolation center that is now full. They're saying people should treat themselves in the house, I mean, and things like that. The cost of hospitals, treating people. So when the VP is now coming to say something like they have 5,000 naira for 20 million Nigerians, you're looking like, just gather the money and build hospital for us.
It's very appalling.
Gather the money and build us one hospital.
Now with this particular news, there are a few things I just want to establish because it's very mind-boggling. Now, for those who may not be aware of the different poverty alleviation programs and schemes, we already have existing poverty alleviation programs under the umbrella of the National Social Investment Program. We have things like the Homegrown School Feeding Program, the Conditional Cash Transfer, the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program. We also have there's one last one I can't really remember. So we have
one, I think the acronym is PAP or something.
PAP.
Yeah, you have the Poverty Alleviation Program.
Okay, poverty. Okay, yeah.
PAP.
So this is PAP. So these so like for instance, like the GEEP, that is the Government Enterprise Empowerment Program. We have things like trader money, market money, farmer money. You might be aware
money
of these different things. So we already have existing poverty alleviation schemes. Now, these existing poverty alleviation schemes have been ridden with a lot of corruption, misappropriation of funds. And the question to the government is, what happened to accountability and holding people responsible? Because it seems like our government, yet again, is quite notorious or very well known to use the creation of new policies to address old policies and to also distract the general public or the citizens from realizing or from seeing that the government did not even address the issues from the already existing policies, where you have misappropriation of funds. What have you done to ensure that the Homegrown School Feeding Program and the monies sequestered for that are being used for what it's supposed to be used for? And
this 5B, is it per month or per week?
Well, I'm not really sure if it's per... I doubt it's per week. I believe it's per month.
You man, you cow. That's you right. Like this word get wickedness. Evil did this word. See, this is what I'm saying. This tokenism, and it's also, we are a reflection of our leadership, of our elite. Every society is a reflection of the leadership. They always say leadership is a reflection of the people. It's a lie. It's where the people have power. We don't have power. We are oppressed. How can it be? It is them that are teaching us this behavior. You understand?
Yeah.
Because when you look at this government and their relationship with Nigerian people in general. I keep saying it. We are 60 years into, over 60 years into being our own country. Closer to 70, man, if I'm not mistaken. You know. And Abi, yeah, we are don't past 60. Yeah, 60. We don't pass 60.
Oh, back, yeah.
No single problem affecting Nigerians have been solved. Now, fellow Nigerians that think that giving a child on the road 100 naira, 200 when he's begging is you doing good for that child. You know, while you work in a bank and help people launder billions out of the country. You understand? That is really putting that child on the street. That will send that child back to the street tomorrow. You know, and we act like we don't know these things.
Wow.
So that is the way they act towards us when they say want to give poor people 5,000 naira a month. And their supporters will come out and say this government, at least see they are the first government to do something. When that something is also nothing. See, that's what this government has perfected. The art of doing something that is also
really
nothing. You understand? So it doesn't really do anything. And in this scheme or whatever, go and look at the agricultural sector. The way the government has been pumping money to subsidize, so-called subsidy for farmers, for their fertilizer. But go and talk to the farmers themselves. If this thing is reaching them or is helping their business, they tell you no. But people are cashing out. You know? So this is the system that we are under until we, as Nigerian people, decide that we are tired of this set of leadership that don't truly represent who we are. Because I realize that many Nigerian people that me, especially the poorest Nigerians that I encounter, even when they transgress, I see that it is because they are forced to by the system. They have no option. It's transgress or die.
So just speaking about not having leaders representing us as a people, how can you represent a people that you don't even know how many they are? You don't even know to the ends of Nigeria the people that you are actually leading. Now with this, you know, newly revised form of poverty alleviation scheme that the government has decided to bring into play in the grand scheme of things, they're saying now they are using technology to be able to identify the poor and the vulnerable. How do you identify the poor and the vulnerable when you don't even know the number? We've not been able to carry out a successful census. How is the database going to be accurate?
And what kind of government wants to interact with these people in such an impersonal way from space?
Technology.
You know, this is what I'm saying. It shows their oppressive nature, their complete oppressive nature, that they don't even want to interact with their people. They don't want us to feel their presence. They want to be looking at us from space, the way they control our life from Aso Rock, that nobody is allowed to enter or even see. How many Nigerians have seen Aso Rock before? Just to even see the building, how it look like. You understand? It's true, you know.
That's a funny.
If this government was to alleviate poverty, put price control on food, put price control on education, you don't have to share money for the poor people of this country. Make sure that all these people cannot charge the exorbitant, your friends can no longer charge us the exorbitant prices they charge us for our own commonwealth that they sell back to us. Is it the food that they grow from our land? The food they sell from our crude oil, or the cement they used to get from our limestone and process on our free land and everything, all the concessions we give them as government, because government is the people of Nigeria, all the licenses in our names. Put a price control so that people can afford it, and tell them to reduce their profit. Don't worry, I know you used to make 100 million a year. Manage 5 million a year now. We are not going to collect the rest you'll be making. You don't stack up. Now it's the turn of Nigerian people to enjoy these things. So at least poor people will not be hungry on the streets.
I like that. Just to write off of what you've said, because in our current situation right now, we are the poverty capital of the world. Over half of our population is in poverty. This is something that we have identified already. But I believe that any country that wants to move or change the economy for the best has to identify two factors that are very pertinent, because I believe it's just one out of the two factors that the government is focusing on all the time. One factor is poverty alleviation, and another factor they have to also identify is economic development. There has to be a balance, because I believe poverty alleviation is akin to sharing fish. You know how they say there's a difference between sharing fish and teaching a man to fish?
Yeah.
And then economic development is akin to actually enabling and empowering the man to be able to fish. So yes, at the moment, we need the handouts. However, we also need the enabling environment for these people to eventually learn how to fish, so that there will be enough fish in our economy that will go around, is what the government should be looking at.
You are very right. I remember a conversation I had on Facebook, you know, where it was public, so I can say it with Baba Femi Ojudu, one of the special advisors to the president, on Facebook, and he was talking about how Zulum built a good school, one good school, like it's best, you know, like nobody had done that, and it was quite commendable. But I was saying, it's his job, number one. They don't need to be commending him for doing that. But there's nothing that child will learn in that school, no matter how comfortable the school is. If the child's house is not comfortable, that school cannot teach him anything.
Wow.
If where it's coming from doesn't give him some certain level of comfort that he can get in that school, not the same. Maybe the school is, you know, but if his own background, the base is coming from,
Yes,
is living under insecurity, stress, poverty, hunger, he will look forward to school, yes, but he's not prepared. So that's what we miss. You know, that's how this government, you know, they will build a field. Let's say they build a field one place now, and they see that they've done something for the community. No, that field needs coaches. It needs tournaments. It needs many other supporting activities and professionals around there for it to be of any use, or else it will just be a place that is just there. And that is what this government is used to doing. You know, something that is nothing. You know, a facade. Everything is a facade. You know, you come to VI, you look everywhere, big buildings, expensive buildings, expensive things, everywhere expensive, because number one, people are laundering money, and money launderers are willing to pay the highest prices. That's why things are so expensive in Nigeria, because everybody is there cleaning money in our society. Nobody can stop them. Nobody can prosecute them. They do what they like. So we have homelessness everywhere and big empty buildings everywhere. I mean, how does that make sense? Who are these investors that are not saying, okay, the best investment for a peaceful Nigeria, for Nigeria to thrive, is to house the poorest people that are on the streets, so that they can become more productive and add to this? No, is to build empty building that nobody can afford, that is just there securing somebody's assets. No, I mean, this is how they think now.
Please feel free to join the conversation. If you'd like to comment on what we've shared so far, you can send a tweet or two or more to @LagosTalks913 on Twitter. Please use the hashtag ThePeoplesPerspective913. Hashtag ThePeoplesPerspective913. And if you want to give us a call, you could call 0809-234-5913, 0809-222-0913, 0809-191-3913. You could also call 01-515-0913, 01-515-1913. Lagos Talks, please turn up your radio. Good morning.
Good morning to the big band, Seun Kuti.
Good morning, no.
My name is Ogundari Fonari. First of all, we should start to think, what does this 5,000 naira want to do to our economy? How is it going to boost our economy? 5,000 per time, that's 3,000. So we should start to think of how to invest in our education, infrastructure, factory. It's not about just giving this money. The 30,000 they give out the last time. How has it helped us? It's not just giving out this money now. Let them invest it in other sectors. Thank you.
All right, Lagos Talks. Good morning. Who's speaking, please?
Nice director. Good morning, Missy.
All right,
morning,
okay.
Good
Good morning.
Good morning, no.
I also
Fine, thank you. All right, let's hear you.
You know, this is a country, honestly. It's high time we begin to call out people. Buhari, at times they even present these guys come and give us what to talk on. 20 million people out of poverty, 400 million. now 5,000 naira. Now, like I was listening to Jacob on the Rise News, was talking about restructuring and every other things, marginalization and all. I was like, who are these people still? Because this country, at times when we talk, you will be like, we they throw word for air. And even if the people that are supposed to take action, when they hear it, they like they hear. Don't they do their ear because they don't want to implement them. So by the time we begin to call out these guys, I don't know, if they go to their house, they knock for their door, maybe they do the right thing. Because you don't tire person for this country. Just come to the street, come to the marketplace, come to here, see how things have been done. Instead, we hear billions of naira. See, the other time, you analyze how these billions of naira will be spent daily. And these guys, they take it without feeling anything. At the end of the day now, we hear total amount. Okay, he didn't allocate any amount. Now, we hear total amount has been allocated. And the hearing is in the account of somebody. And that person, even when the person is in court, nothing will be done. This country, what happened?
All right, Ebuka, I would have to let you go. Thank you very much. Lagos Talks, good morning. Who's speaking, please?
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning. Who's speaking?
Yes. My name is Tunji. I'm calling you from Italy.
All right, Tunji from Italy.
Yes.
From Italy. Hey, international, our first international call. Way.
I just want to speak on something quick. So regarding Nigeria's situation, right?
Okay.
If you look at like people who live abroad, right? The truth is, when you wake up in a typical country, like let's say Italy, for example, or maybe USA, for example, too. Like all the amenities are there for you, so you just wake up and like you're able to think properly.
Of course, an enabling
Real
environment.
poverty in Nigeria is like people wake up, and they just have problems.
You wake up to
They're not
problems.
able to think their basic needs. They're not even able to think properly, and I think that's a big issue that
Of
like
course.
society needs to
Tunji,
Of course.
I agree with you, my brother. Sorry for cutting you out. I agree with you, but you are just a little bit inaccurate. You say they wake up to problem. No, problem they wake us.
That
is so apt.
Like,
We don't wake up to the problem. The pride doesn't let us wake up. Wake you up. Wake up.
Wow. All right, thank you so much also for listening as well. Lagos Talks, good
Hello,
morning.
good morning.
Good morning. Who's speaking?
Yeah, my name is Peter Monster. Calling you from Shomodo.
All right, Peter, let's hear you.
Thank you. So good morning.
How about you, my brother?
Thank God, sir. You see, there is no government in Nigeria that has been honest when they talk about poverty alleviation. I know we have had so many programs, and at the end of the day, it is a constant fight for them to siphon our money because they must look for a name tag for the way to, siphon. Now, you have been doing programs, you say you want to alleviate something, and at the end of the day, we are the poverty capital of the world. I was thinking, I said, what of Sudan that was ravaged by war? What of the Syria? Another country, and Nigeria, the capital of the poverty of the world, and we are doing the alleviation program. For me, I don't believe because only election is coming closer. By next year now, they will start campaigning. These are the things, the tools they want to use in confusing Nigerians. And this is what we have done. So I would like the youth to wake up from now. Let us start the program I want to start now and begin to sensitize the people because these people want to portray themselves in power. PDP, APC, the same coin, or for different sides. Please, I don't believe them, and I will never believe them. Let us start the movement of the youth and do something reasonable. Thank you.
All right, Lagos Talks. Please turn off your radio. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Oluwadare.
Oluwadare. All right, let's hear you.
My brother,
How you do, my brother?
I did one brother. You say, well, my observation in this country is just that there's another that say Yoruba Runu. Why is it whenever they want to share this, their pocket money is when they remain there, that is our business.
You said your pocket money?
They Shibajo.
Okay.
Why is it whenever they want to share this money, that's when they remember him? Where have you been since all this world? It's last time that they shared 30,000 naira for their political party is when they're involved in. Ever since it's not heard from him, now they want to share money again. That's when they now invite him. Because they have a system that they use in sharing money. They'll just gather their political party
and gather themselves and be showing themselves on TV that they are sharing palliative to the poor people. Whereas they are doing it as a caucus of their inside their party.
All right. Thank you for your take.
So he's saying that the so-called palliative and poverty alleviation programs is used to compensate party members, low-level party members.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that's an angle. If you want to send a WhatsApp message, please send it to 0809-234-5913. This is coming from Kelewansky from Delta, saying, when a rat is biting you small and blowing you breeze so that you don't feel the pain. That's what all these various poverty alleviation programs do. For me, it shows me how lowly they think of us. Robbing Peter, which is the masses, to pay Paul. Party faithfuls. Nigeria is wicked. The saddest part is that this is deliberate and a strategy. This one is coming from Francis saying, TPP, our perspective emotion. How has your week been? And I hope it's been great. How can you, as a senator, collect over 32 million naira monthly and give so-called poor Nigerians 5,000 naira? I agree with Cheum. That's sure proof of oppression. They keep sharing peanuts with different names: pocket money, kolo money, ajo money, abegi. Cheum, you say, I agree with you. We are the reflection of our leaders. Temi is saying, if we don't want, or we don't wake up to problem wakes us up with no lights, hunger, no food. Charity is saying, Cheon the Great. Here now, I can't. I'm so sorry. Can't really read that. Make it very understandable to me and every other person. This is coming from Lansky saying, please, you guys are in the media, our authority, who has seen any audited data that they've been using to pay this 5K? I do what you guys saying. The vice president that is sharing this money knows what could be gotten in return, because some people are saying that he's doing belittle his status. They're saying what he's doing is belittling his status, and that's a lie. He's enjoying what he's doing. Okay. Exactly.
Just like keep telling people that this guy is a professor, a pastor, covered with the blessings of the Lord and the intelligentsia.
What's that?
You can't make him do anything he doesn't want to do. The academy, the professor, intelligentsia.
This is coming from HGK saying 5K for 6 months is 30K for 6 months. Is this the poverty alleviation program? The UN's definition of poverty is benchmarked on how many dollars a day. For context, government is giving 78 naira a day. Call it what it is. Poverty promotion program.
I don't tell you. Yes, that's poverty promotion. Nigerians the best. These people don't know that Nigerians are angry. They don't know. They think this is 1980.
Yeah.
That they tell us that the problem in Nigeria is Ghana. We said we follow and shouting Ghana must go. We'll be doing now. We don't get sense. We go check WHO.
We are very much aware. We are more enlightened with the access to information that we have at our fingertips with our phones. So we get all these different broadcasts. We get all these different posts on the likes of Punch NG and This Day. And so people are more enlightened. They should understand this. I believe that the government always writes off of sensationalism. Oh, we are giving you 5,000 naira a month or in 6 months. And they expect people to get excited about it.
Except they are giving people 5,000 naira a day. Hey, I'll say, okay, this government.
Gone are the days where people get
maybe they are trying. Is it 5K a day? If it's not 5K a day, I beg.
Anyways, let's move on to other stories. Lagos auctioned 88 vehicles caught driving on one way.
Is there any police car among those cars?
Well, I don't think so. Let's backtrack a little bit. So I did share this earlier on, I believe on Monday or so, where the Lagos State Environmental and Special Offences Enforcement Unit said that it will auction a total of 88 vehicles that were forfeited by the Lagos State Mobile Court for driving against traffic. Now, there was a statement that was released by Taufik Adebayo, the spokesperson for the agency. And he said, and I quote, they obtained a court order authorizing for a public auction of 88 one-way vehicles forfeited by the Lagos State Mobile Court. And he also went further, saying that they were all arraigned and forfeited by the court in line with Part 3, Item 27 of the Lagos State Transport Sector Reformed Law of 2018. And so with all this, a lot of people were calling their bluff, assuming that there was going to be some sort of injunction or that they were going to halt in the process. But Wednesday came, that's just 2 days ago, and indeed the auction went live. A few other things to even note is the number of people that actually flocked to that venue to go and bid for these cars that were, auctioned due to, breaking
Auction cars are cheap now.
law.
I didn't know. I'll have even gone.
So what are your thoughts about this, Seun? Because on one hand, they're saying you're a lawbreaker. On the other hand, they're saying no option for fines. We are going to auction this car to serve as a deterrent to future offenders or people who want to or even think to drive one way in Lagos.
We have concluded last week that these our elites, both ruling and business elites, are quite punitive. That the only way they want to interact with us is to come and do census. They don't want to use satellites. But when it comes to auctioning our car, throwing us in jail, surrounding my house with 30 policemen, they are willing to approach us and come to us for that one, with violence and oppression. They like that one, So I'm not surprised that the only solution. I believe that a crime like this, it is not by selling these 22 cars that will stop people taking one way. It's when police people, politicians, stop taking one way when there's traffic. Stop blowing siren when there's no emergency. When they themselves have stopped those kind of behavior, then the people will stop. There will be more sanity in our driving, and also when they can enforce driving law on everybody. Because some people will pass one way. Only 22 cars don't pass one way for this Lagos. 98 car. Sorry, don't pass one way for Lagos.
It's almost a norm.
Last week when I was going home after the show, I still saw some politician with his escort, because they've closed Third Mainland now, coming. But they allowed him, so he was now coming against traffic. I don't know who he was. They were blowing siren, the bridge is open now for us to go. He's not supposed to be coming. But they allowed him. They were on one side of the road, now telling all of us that are doing the right thing to be moving, for this man to pass. So until such behaviors are no longer condoned by the authorities.
Of course.
If police is using siren, he has to be using siren when there's emergency. We shouldn't be seeing our police officers driving on one way side of the road.
Recklessly.
You understand?
Recklessly.
So,
you have to emphasize that.
Yesterday, I was driving on the day before yesterday, I was driving on Ikorodu Road. I saw Okada just driving one way, passing last mile, passing police. Nobody stopped there, nobody. But one day, Oga will give order for punitive purposes. They'll park 20 of them to show. You can't be using our, your citizens to do show. That's not good governance. You understand? Acting drama with your citizens and using them to prove a point.
Of course.
Can't use your own people to be proving points when they've not, when the crime is not that serious. Cameras, tickets. What happened to ticketing? Let's ticket people. Tell last month that they can get 10% or 20% of every ticket they give to any offender. Let people be paying money.
And that's an incentive.
Yeah, let people be paying money. You not be able to, at least last man guy knows he's getting his money. But last man guy will still collect bribe instead of collecting that 20%. Because he knows that as soon as he pays that money to government, that 20% gonna go be. so these people, you are damned if you do, damned if you don't. So I don't even know.
Just a few things from what you just said, just a few things to highlight in this particular.
Well, let me just finish.
Okay.
I don't want to criticize the one way takers too much.
Okay.
Because I don't take one way.
And I like that.
I hate taking one way, but sometimes I do take one way. So I don't want to say, sometimes Lagos traffic is just such a way that no matter how safe you want to be, no, just the people that block the road for no reason. One trailer don't fall for there. Nobody's there to remove the trailer. Instead of people to allow themselves pass, they block the small space for people to pass. And well, if I just take this one way for 2 minutes, I will avoid this madness that will take 5 hours of my life. So yeah.
Yeah, just a few things, and just writing off of some of the things that you've said. This story and this brohad, it does show that if there is a crime, there should be a punishment. However, this punishment must go through the ranks. Everyone should be under that umbrella. I'm talking the elites and even the masses. So if you have said that there is a crime and that there is a punishment. This punishment should cover everyone. However, we've seen that our law enforcement were trained to be punitive. Their training was very, should I say, oppressive in nature. And so everything that they probably would do in response to criminal offenses will automatically, one way or the other, be punitive, as if to oppress people, as if to reinforce their authority as lord over. Why? Because you're wearing a uniform and because you have, a gun.
Yes.
And so this is what we've been seeing. And so I'm not really surprised that the next option that they picked was an immediate auctioning of the cars without other options, because people are asking.
Yes, because
why didn't
also now them go buy him. That auction
this
is
the
rigged.
exact same thing that I was going to say.
That auction is
because
rigged,
now a lot
fam.
of people are accusing them, saying that at the end of the day, the reason why you're so enthused to immediately auction these cars is because you know that these cars will be bought amongst yourselves. Now, these are the accusations that they are receiving. And just taking a look at this very brutal and savage response or punishment, because this punishment is not commensurate to the offense. There are so many other options that they could have explored.
Of course. This is too much.
Now, with what they've done, they've literally taken the livelihood of some people, because some of these people might have been using their cars for maybe delivery services. Some of these people might have spent their life savings to get these cars because it probably would enable them, with to and fro work and all that. And they've taken these people like 5 steps or 10 steps backwards in a country where our transport system is deplorable. And it just goes to show the lack of empathy that the government has for the people. We're not saying do not punish, criminals or those who break laws. But we are saying let the punishment be commensurate to the crime. Because it just seems like the government is just outrightly, always available to oppress the people. It's rather unfair. And not only that, observing the number of people that came for that auction, over 300 human beings in COVID-19. Hardly did you see any face mask. It was impossible for you to social distance. It was impossible. Literally, rubbing against each other. Hence, showing clearly more disconnect within the government. Because one arm is saying, oh, we need to take precaution. If not, there will be a second lockdown. And another arm is saying, well, we need to auction these cars and we need buyers. And so we might as well open the floodgates of people to come in and expose people to this deadly virus. It's sad. It's very disheartening. I just believe the government needs to do better. Number one, empathy towards the people. That's something that the government lacks.
Another question is, if you take one way and the punishment is to sell your car,
why should I be punishment?
What are people that are stealing money in government?
Mm-hmm.
And using that money to build house and buy car. Now use that car to pass one way.
That's double offense. Or triple offense.
So I don't. If taking one way is losing the car, then using your office to embezzle funds should be tantamount to losing the office too. But nobody's losing their office or embezzling funds with it. Well.
Yes, this was a very unfair move by the government, and I really hope that something is done about it. That this should not be the punishment. There should be other options. Community service, ticketing, like you mentioned. I believe that they should do better, but let's see, what happens moving forward.
Also seizing people's licenses.
There you go. I mean, even if you want to seize their car, you can tell them, we're seizing it for a stipulated period, so that you probably don't get to drive again, maybe for 2 months, and that's okay. Or a combination of you're going to pay a fine and there's going to be a seizure, but we're going to give you back your car. But just taking the car away from it, I don't understand.
Stupid. But that's how they are. I think
it's terrible.
The both military government, both civilian government, their go-to mode of interacting with us is
very oppressive.
Yeah.
Let's take some calls. Lagos Rocks. Good morning. Who's speaking?
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name, please?
Bola calling from Ikotu.
All right, Bola, let's hear you.
Yes.
Please turn off your radio.
I'm even very far to the radio. I don't know why the echo is like that. Let me quickly say this. Not all government policies will continue to be criticized. I'm not ready to take one way. anybody who decided to take one way, whatever any punishment that he was deserved, they should give it to that person.
Okay.
Issue of ticket, no, in this case, when your vehicle broke down, some people are parling and going, but when you demand it to be about 25,000, 30,000 naira for a vehicle that you are parling for the road, you see changes. We are sort of human beings. For example, in another part of the world, through the Christmas time, you see every good and bad is come down. But today, in the United States, you see everything go up here. We are sort of human beings that we only God can understand us. So, for issue of that I'm not ready to take it with you. But whoever takes away the life, the city out, the city, so be it. We can't continue like this. Not every government body will be criticized every day. It's unfair. Thank you very much.
But if you want to be punitive in Nigeria, then we should be punitive all across board. You know, I don't support that. You are saying because somebody take one way, anything they like, they should do to him, so they can also kill him because he's taking one way. No, the punishment must fit the crime.
Exactly.
I mean, this is not.
That's all we're saying.
This is not biblical. This is not biblical times. It's religious people that talk like this.
You also did mention very much that you don't take one way except sometimes. But you said that to make clear that taking one way is an offense.
Of course.
That definitely is it. So we're not taking away from that fact. It is an offense, but we're saying even if that's an offense, the punishment must fit the crime. Lagos dogs. Lagos dogs, good afternoon. Good morning, who's speaking? Hello. Alright, we lost that. Let's just quickly take some WhatsApp messages. This is coming from Ridwan saying the sharing of palliative and money to small party members is not an angle, it's a reality. This I have witnessed severally. Emmanuel is saying, like you've said before, poverty in Nigeria is deliberate to oppress the people and control them with small pocket money. This is coming from a listener saying, good morning, Seun and Ife. We have government on completed projects and will benefit the masses like power plants, roads, etc. Why didn't they complete it with that money rather than sharing it? A whole
they don't even have the money to share. Don't you understand? They don't even have the money to share. Instead, he wants to go and look for the money to share for audio.
But then they say they've actually injected 10 billion naira into this so far. But of course, the 10 billion naira cannot cover the 20 million Nigerians for the next 2 years. This is coming from someone said advance vote by.
Advance vote by.
He said, do you know what 600 billion naira would do to agri-technology and health sector and how many permanent jobs it will create and permanently put some people out of poverty? Sam is saying the government are probably laughing at what you said about price cap because to them it will sound like an imagination. AJK is saying punitive punishment for passing one way. I hold no brief for those who violate traffic laws. They need to be punished, but selling off their cars is an overkill. So for all the stealing going on right now, can we kill those people?
I mean, I want us, if for passing one way, it is to take your car, then I mean, we need to review a lot of our laws in Nigeria.
This is from Udoji saying, morning Ife and Seun, has the Lagos State government identified the cause of driving one way against traffic before impounding? So taking a look at it from the cause effect angle, clearly that's a point that the government never addresses, because one would think maybe when they're probably having a plenary or having a session, they identified the reason why. Is it just because Nigerians want to be unruly, or could it be because some of the roads are unsafe, or some of the roads are in deplorable conditions that it is impossible for some of these cars to pass through those roads that have been made available?
Also, I went to bury my band leader, so I went on the Abeokuta Songo Abeokuta Express, Lagos Abeokuta Express. I mean, half the traffic was on the other side of the road.
Wow.
And I don't blame them. Like, seriously, my car was going in ditches so deep, it was like we were coming down a hill and climbing up the hill, right in the middle of the highway of the road, this was the road. So, and also, potholes are illegal, road shouldn't happen. Taking lights is illegal. All these things, it's true.
Yeah.
It's against the law, but they take light, they blow your appliance. Where do you get your own justice?
Exactly.
So this is the problem with justice in Nigeria. Justice is only downwards. It's never upwards. Descending. Justice always descending, never ascending. That's why it's almost like it's disappearing. Because when the people in the lower classes do anything, the law is there. But when something is now done to them, the law is not there. You're driving on the road, pothole, bust your car. Can you go to any local government and claim anything? Would the local government chairman even attend to you? Would they even entertain you? Not be the police where they will say, if you come back here, we'll lock you up for disturbing us here. So that's what I'm saying. And now, if we to now decide to become punitive because of that, so they go and burn the police, the local government, they'll say, because your tire burst for road, you burn local government chairman office. Then the punishment fit the crime.
Let's touch on the very last story, which is your favorite story for today. Finally, the government has come out to address the reasons why the pigeons did not fly. If you remember the Armed Forces Remembrance Day, the pigeons didn't fly.
The pigeons went on strike.
They didn't fly. And so,
the pigeons went on strike.
has the perfect response to that.
People don't take away the right of these pigeons to express their reality.
They will express it.
They had a job and they didn't
Femi
perform the
Adesina.
job. I know, but I'm just trying to say, you're saying why the pigeons did not fly. Don't just say, like, the pigeons are these flightless, stupid
Like they
birds
have
that
no
couldn't
sense.
fly. Or they were they did not fly, did not perform their activity in the occasion. They went on strike.
Okay. Well, the thing is, since pigeons can't talk, Femi Adesina
They
has
talk
given
to
us...
me. The big bird. The spokesperson. People don't understand.
Indeed. Oh, you know what?
I
That's
am
so
the big
true.
bird.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody is more qualified.
So in their words, because I really want to understand this pigeon lingo. In
Yes.
their words, what exactly did they say?
They said,
Oh my gosh, don't actually kill me. Do not.
do you want the translation?
What's the translation?
They said, we did not refuse to strike. And we did not refuse to fly. We went on strike.
Oh, wow.
So that was how I first of all knew
Perks of having the big bird. I'm guessing.
what was going on. So anyway,
Wow.
let's hear the government side
Okay.
because I have the bird's angle. You can see the bird's eye view of this situation as the big bird, everybody. So
This is what Femi Adesina had to say. He said,
did he talk to the birds?
well,
Did he talk to the pigeons? No. Anyway,
Good.
so I don't even to know. First
the
of all,
government should have access to, a
First of
spokesperson
all-
for the pigeons.
First of all, whatever Adesina is saying here is one-sided.
Okay.
It's the
But
government
thank God
side.
that we have you here now
Exactly.
to balance things
Uh-huh.
out. Yeah. So this is what Femi Adesina said. He said, and I quote, when birds and some other roaming animals have been circumscribed for a while, they get accustomed to their new status as lawful captives. Therefore, when you offer them freedom, they first balk, thinking it's too good to be true. It's a natural phenomenon. So pretty much saying that they were used to being confined to that space. And when it was time for them to fly, they were so used to it that they weren't really sure, are you freeing us or are you playing with us? So that's what Femi Adesina is saying. Do your birds agree? Listen, we know that for these pigeons to fly, there's a certain way they have to be kept and taken care of. And we know that there is a budget for that. Question is, what happened to the budget for caring for the pigeons? It's not just a Nigerian thing where you let off the pigeons in remembrance of the lost, those who we lost during the war. This is something that is a common phenomenon in different parts of the world, but their pigeons fly. I mean, I know we've come across some people whose pigeons did not fly, and therein lies the problem because they were not kept the way they ought to have been kept. What happened to the budget for the pigeons is a question that we should be asking, and is the explanation that Femi Adesina should be giving.
As the spokesperson of the birds, as a big bird, I want you all to know that somebody ate the pigeons' food money.
That's just sad.
The pigeons,
The poor pigeons.
those pigeons didn't fly because they were too hungry to fly.
Poor pigeons.
They were being in that cage. The head of the pigeon, their chief. Yes,
Okay.
their chief. She flies. His name is She Flies with Style.
Do not actually kill me.
If you watch the video well, it's the one that first flew out. He flew out. He went on top of one thing to show that not that I cannot fly, because they are saying that they are. So he flew out to let the people
really
that I can fly.
You really
But we are not performing.
Wow.
We are on strike.
I didn't actually get this.
Yes, she
Thank
flies
God,
with style.
Please
Why
don't
you-
stop saying that. Please, I beg you. This is a serious show.
The birds are offended. They think it is derogatory that you laugh at their names. You know, your name Ify too sounds weird to them, but you don't see the
Well, you know what?
the pigeons
That's
laughing.
true. That's actually true. So
Flies with
Chief-
style says they've been in that
Chief flies
cage
with style.
for almost 5 days with no single bird seed. That the only water gonna they drank, that the water that they saw to drink
I can't deal again.
was rainwater
Was rain? Oh,
and some dew that accumulated on the cage overnight while they were there.
that's sad.
That the way they ate our palliative, that's how somebody also
It's the breast palliative. Oh, that's
ate
terrible.
the bird food money. How can somebody steal bird food money?
Oh my gosh, this is so
What
sad.
is going
I
on
can't
in
even,
this
I
country?
can't even do. I can't.
They give you money to buy food, to feed birds, and you still steal it. Kilo de gone. What is happening here? These birds were too hungry to fly.
Oh my
Chief
god.
flies with style told me. Coo, 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 coo.
It's terrible. Oh my
So
No more birds, listen.
I want you all to know that this was
Okay.
a strike. Not that the birds did not fly. So everybody say, say, bad omen for Nigeria. It's just a bad omen on our politicians that they stole bird food money.
You know what? Aside from all these things that we've said,
That's why they don't have police dogs.
the fact that
Imagine.
the response by the government belittles the intelligence of the people, telling them that the reason why is because they are confined to the space. Listen, just a quick Google search will give you the right information about why the pigeons did not fly. I mean, just even if you say we're going to steal,
Which
this is
Google?
not me encouraging stealing, but at least buy some seeds, just bird seeds, and allow them just to fly.
I said maybe people in government
This is just-
they need corruption consultants. It should be a job like that.
You know what?
I think I'll be good at it.
You know
because
what?
me now,
That's an angle.
for example, somebody like Peter was involved in this bird food budget.
Okay.
I want to eat the bird food.
Okay. Don't say the bird food. Say the money for the bird
No,
food.
you eat bird food. Let's say we want to eat the bird food.
Oh my days.
We won't just eat it like that. We'll call some children, give them some of the bird food. Say go and catch worms as a game. The first kid to bring
There you
300
go.
worms or 500 worms, I'll give you 10,000 naira. Out of billions, because I know that bird food is billion.
Of course. The whole Armed Forces Remembrance Day. it has
Billion.
Billions.
I'm surprised that our chief of army
What's
staff,
this?
you know, he reared snakes. I thought you were going to do a little snake
Oh
show
my
that
gosh,
day.
I
Anyway,
can't.
that's aside. So these birds were just too hungry to fly anyway.
Of course.
You know, and also, you know, like Armed Forces Remembrance Day. I mean, you know, what are we remembering? You know, so the birds, there were so many reasons.
For them not to.
They were on the side of the Nigerian people.
Okay.
Basically, they said, you know, we've seen what happened in SARS. We now
you
came
go.
here because I think those birds were also imported. Yes, Chief Flies with Stars is not from
Clearly,
here.
they're not used to this type of treatment.
Chief Flies with Stars says all his life
Clearly.
he has eaten his morning, afternoon, like he has lost weight. If you look at him, he's before and after picture.
He flies with style. I wish I could have an interview with him. Sean, can we book that?
No, he has left. He's
Oh, he's
flown.
left.
He has
Oh,
flown. His
wow.
life was in danger. After the strike, he said he had threats. There was threats to their life.
Oh my days.
You know, people were telling them to go with chips. Some people wanted with rice. So he had to
Oh my
gather
days.
his people.
Sean, please, let's get some calls and then we'll wrap this up. Lagos Talks, good morning. Who's speaking?
Good morning. My name is Emmanuel.
Emmanuel, let's hear you very quickly.
Thank you.
I want to just quickly give you an information just first now. I was driving past Maryland now, and a last man with police officer. They will just stop a car without doing nothing. And they went out your car, remove your key. And they will say, we are on traffic. Just on Maryland now.
You see?
So who is to advocate for you? Who is to defend you? And when you get to the office, you are wrong. I'm not going to defend you. You are not telling me that, and someone is speaking that you follow one way. The best time they say you follow one way, who is to defend you? Who is your witness?
Wow.
And they will just throw your car for nothing sake.
Thank you very much for giving us that information. The usual oppressive modus operandi.
They tried to do it to me on this bridge one day.
This is not
too.
new.
I was on this bridge,
Wow.
a 3-lane bridge. So yes, one lane was not going to, but there was no sign on the road to say, oh, 2 lanes and 1 lane is turning. It's just the 3 lane. I mean, I didn't even know that there was an exit.
Yeah.
So by the time I saw there was exit, I was trying to enter the road back. Then I came and said, is it that I go on the exit? I said, how am I supposed to know? But there's no sign on the road. There's absolutely no sign.
It almost seems like they're setting you up to fail. They're setting you up to break the law so that they can have a reason to oppress you further. All right, Seun, we have to wrap this up. It's 12, so it's time for the world news. Thank you so much to
Not
everyone.
the world news, the best world news.
The best world news, I like that.
Not just
Coming
any world
live
news.
from our media studios by Victor Njoko. Seun, before saying goodbye, any words?
Lagos people, I beg, give yourself chance on the road. I beg.
All right, guys.
At least till I get home.
All right, guys.